25 years ago, a new genre was born. Resident Evil released and birthed the survival horror genre, which still exists today. Resident Evil went on to become one of the biggest gaming franchises in gaming history, with 8 mainline entries thus far and a whole bunch of spin-offs. To celebrate the 25-year anniversary, I decided to take a look at where it all began, by playing the 2002 remake of the original game. With that in mind, join me as we explore Resident Evil 25 years later. The first thing you need to know about this video is that I'll be looking at it without the fanboy perspective. The only Resident Evil games I have finished are 1 remake, 2 remake and 3 remake. I've played 6 and 7 but didn't finish them. There are loads of Resident Evil retrospective videos from long-time fans of the series, and they struggle to critique the game due to nostalgia. Well, this was my first time playing the game, so I don't have the nostalgia glasses, so let's get started. The first thing I want to make note of is the setting. This is utterly fantastic. The Spencer Mansion is haunting, even for someone playing the game for the first time in 2021. There are so many doors, so many rooms, so many corridors, yet at the same time you do begin to become familiar with it all. There comes a time where you'll need to travel to the other side of the mansion, and you'll know exactly how to get there without consulting the map. That is what we like to call top tier design. They make the mansion feel like a real place, and yes, whilst there may be a lot of backtracking and a lot of door opening, that doesn't hinder the game as much as I thought it would. Then there's the other locations, such as Lisa's cabin, the tunnels, the lab. They're all creepy in their own right as well, and I hated exploring them all in the best kind of way. Of course, a creepy setting won't remain creepy without a formidable threat within, and Resident Evil provides that in spades. In the mansion alone, there's the zombies at the start. They're creepy enough, but not too much of a challenge. Oh no, the challenge comes from when you're an hour in, and they reanimate as Crimson Heads and start charging at you with double the speed. I absolutely hated these things. To the point where, if I knew there was a hallway where I'd killed 3 or 4 zombies, I'd avoid it at all costs. They run so fast, and they often play dead, so that you think you're safe. That is, until you walk by them, and then they chase you like crazy. But Crimson Heads are the least of your worries in this game. For the first couple hours they'll be your biggest threat for sure, but that doesn't last long. Soon enough you'll be facing off against giant spiders, blood-hungry sharks, and the hunters. At least the hunters aren't as much of a bitch in 1 as they are in 3, because goodness me are they poorly balanced in that game. I didn't even mention the dogs or the crows. Literally everything is trying to kill you in this game, and it can. Quite easily. But of course, the game is 25 years old, so how can these threats really be that scary? I'll tell you how. Fixed camera angles. I've never been too much of a fan of fixed camera angles, but I have to say, they are the sole reason that this game retains any horror whatsoever. You simply cannot see what is around the corner. It is horrifying. I think I have footage of a moment that jump scared me as a result of this. If I do, it's on screen now. Horrifying stuff. You have to walk around each corner with a level of caution in your step, because anything could be there. With all that being said, I know some fans are divided on what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I hope that Resident Evil 1 gets the remake treatment of 2 and 3. Some fans don't want it, and I get that, but I would love it. The Spencer Mansion is such an iconic setting that needs to be brought into the modern era in the same way that the RPD was. You know what else Resident Evil 1 absolutely shines at? The sheer confidence it has in just throwing the most batshit insane stuff and hoping it works. And those bastards, it damn well does. You think you're playing a zombie survival horror? Think again, bitch. Here's a giant snake. Kill it. Think that's enough? Think again, bitch. Here's a giant shark. Kill it. Think that's enough? Think again, bitch. Here's a giant plant. Kill it. Think that's enough? Think again, bitch. Here's a giant spider. Kill it. The funny part is, I'm gonna stop there, and that's only halfway through the game. They just went balls to the wall with the craziness, and it makes for a very memorable experience. Now, the age-old question, is this a good place for newcomers to the series to start. Loads of people say yes, and I couldn't disagree more. This game doesn't hold your hand at all. You're just given free rein to explore. Some people like this kind of level design. I don't. I'm not saying there should be mission markers, but I don't think you should have to read a random note in some random drawer to figure out where to go. The puzzles are rewarding, but a little too obtuse in my opinion. Some of them are just kind of ridiculous and complicated. I understand that I'm dumb as hell, but for that reason alone, this would be a terrible place for newcomers to start. A newcomer's first game to a series needs to be accessible to ease them in, whilst also showing them the best that the series can offer, and this game simply doesn't do that. The remake added the ability to remove tank controls, thank God, but even then, wriggling around the zombies isn't especially easy due to how narrow the corridors are. Resident Evil 2 Remake is by far the best place for newcomers to start. It's got a modern, third-person perspective, the puzzles are challenging but don't take it too far. The enemy variety isn't as flashy as 1, but does enough to keep it going. The RPD is very similar to the Spencer Mansion in terms of layout. I enjoyed playing Resident Evil 1. But I've got to say, the people who say that it's aged well are simply blinded by nostalgia goggles, something that I don't have. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad game, it's a very good game. It's a classic, it's a kingpin of the genre, but that doesn't mean that it's aged well. Resident Evil 1 is a fantastic time. An aging combat system and camera, unintuitive level design and hilarious voice acting are vastly overshadowed by a stellar setting, spades of enemy variety and a very creepy atmosphere, even by today's standards, and that is why Resident Evil 1 is worth playing 25 years later. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, then please make sure to leave a like, as it would be greatly appreciated by me. And if you want to see more fantastic gaming videos just like this one, then make sure to subscribe, because I upload every single Friday. Have a nice day, and goodbye.